Welcome everybody to look at a new Imprint Films single disc single film release, and it is 1976's Swashbuckler. So this is directed by James Goldstone, who did the really rather fantastic Roller Coaster. He also did the fairly solid Winning, but he also did the disastrous disaster film When Time Ran Out, which has been widely regarded for why the disaster genre died out as a genre as it was until the mid 90s. So, yeah, this is a romantic adventure film clocking in at 101 minutes. And yeah, has a really rather great cast of notable names. You got the likes of Robert Shaw, who was superb in the likes of From Russia with Love, which was the first film I saw him in, as well as Jaws, The Taking of Pelham 123, Black Sunday, Robin and Marion, and The Deep. Then you've also got James Earl Jones, who's most well known, obviously, for being part of the Star Wars series as providing the voice for Darth Vader. But he was also in three of the Jack Ryan films: The Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, and Clear and Present Danger. And he was really rather great in Matawan. You also got Genevieve Bujold, who was in the likes of Dead Ringers, Obsession, Tightrope, Coma, Earthquake, and Murder by Decree. You also got Beau Bridges, who was in The Landlord, which is a Radiance Films release that we looked at not long ago. Yeah, just seen that on my shelf there. There's also a 2 Minute Warning. You've also got supporting roles from the likes of Jeffrey Holder, who was in Live and Let Die. He played Baron Samedi. Also got Angelica Houston, who was in the Addams Family first two of those films, as well as Sid Haig, who was in everything from Coffee and Foxy Brown to Diamonds Are Forever and Jackie Brown. So a pirate and her hot-tempered noblewoman join forces to protect Jamaica from a tyrant. So even though I feel like the romance element to this adventure film is a mix of unnecessary and underwritten, the rest of this was rather fun, albeit not as heavy on the pirate ship action as you might expect, especially given the poster. So yeah, but that said, the cast is great. It is well paced, has solid production value, especially since they are shooting and the what action there is on the actual ship is on an actual ship. It was made in the early 70s, and it was a replica of the ship that a Francis Drake, I think it was, circumnavigated the world, or it was a famous replica of a. It's a replica of a famous ship, basically, the Golden Hind, I think it was called. So yeah, actually having to film on a ship or being able to film on a ship was gives it a real sense of realism and high production value. The score is also really good. It is generally engrossing, and having the lead actress get stuck in with the action, because she does get into the action with sword fights and such, did remind me a great deal of Gina Davis in the later film Cutthroat Island, which was also a pirate film. But much like that film, this was not well received at the time, or in terms of commercial performance as well, as it had a budget of 8 million, and I can't see anywhere that it made anywhere near that amount, which is a great shame because I think this is really, really good. Now, obviously, pirate films had long since been out of fashion by that point, but this primarily got made because the Three Musketeers and its sequel, The Four Musketeers, were actually quite successful, and they were also swashbuckler kind of films. So, yeah, they tried to attempt it with a pirate film, and yeah, that did not work out, unfortunately. Seems like the pirate genre as a film medium is a something that has had a storied history in terms of being successful or not. Obviously, you have the Pirates of the Caribbean films that were wildly successful, but then you also have Cutthroat Island, which was a massive box office bomb, one of the biggest in history, in fact. This didn't do particularly well, and before this one, yeah, you probably have to go back to the 1930s or 40s to find a similar effort. So, yeah, unfortunately, not a genre that has had great success outside of maybe one series and films from decades old. So there's the disc with the same images on the slip cover that we've got, and there's the alternate artwork as well. Unfortunately, there is only one extra on this disc. It is presented in a 1080p high definition presentation, but and that looks fine. There's nothing remarkable about it, but it does the job, and the sound quality is decent as well. But there's only one extra, and that is the theatrical trailer. So yeah, that's a little bit of a shame. You would have thought with such an ensemble cast that you would have been able to get more extras on this, but I guess with the majority of the cast being dead, Robert Shaw, James Earl Jones, um, Jeffrey Holder, Sid Haig, they have all passed away. So it's only really, I think, Angelica Houston and Genevieve Bujold, who's probably still alive, and I doubt they want to talk about this, especially since Angelica Houston doesn't even say a single word in this film. She's just a presence in this film. I think her actual title as a cast member is Woman of Dark Visage or something like that. So yeah, she's not really a character in this. She's just a presence, and she's got a decent presence. But it would be nice to have her as more of a character, and that's kind of something that can be extended to the romance element in that it's underwritten and feels quite unnecessary. It just feels a little bit forced at the end of the day, like they had to do it, or they felt that they had to do it to make it a bit more commercially viable. But on the whole, a really rather enjoyable film. 3.5 out of 5. So yeah, it's a decent effort, but there are obviously definitely better pirate films out there. I'd say the first Pirates of the Caribbean is probably the one of the best, more modern examples of this genre, but on the whole, still a good effort, and that cast alone is well worth the watch. And yeah, the opening action scene with the pirate ship actually getting involved in an action scene is also really rather quite entertaining. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.